Battle started.
Welcome to another unpredictable round of Beyond a Reason. Just joking, I'm going to win. It's me, Twig, taking on Pigz with his fingers crossed approach. Get ready for some fireworks, and we're here with Pradith and Bruticus on the mic to break down the madness as it unfolds.
Welcome everybody to this All Reason No Logic versus PigzTV. Joining us, you've got Twig playing as Armada, going in for a vehicle start. A bot start, and Pigz playing as Armada as well, going for a vehicle start too. We're playing on Ascendancy, and we've restricted this map to just the top section so that it is a one lane high ground map.
Just a quick correction, Pigz is going bot start as well.
Apologies. Differing between the two, Twig is going for more wind, and Pigz is only just starting to get more of his up as well. Not using blueprints yet. Twig is going for a early tick to get across and hopefully gain some map control and some scouting. Whoever controls the high ground will control the pace of this game. All of the mechs are reasonably high mechs, 3 metal each, 3.1s at the top. There's a geo as well as some reclaim to get from the high ground.
Pigz gone for a double constructor for his start.
Definitely will help him with
that.
it'll definitely help him with the eco, but it could mean that he could fall prey to the ticks. However, with the comm right on the front line, very hard to push past that with a tick.
No, he's definitely going to have the eco advantage, but he might lose out on gaining a foothold on that top if he doesn't push some units up.
Yep.
Excuse me. He's whacked down his blueprints as well, but that lab's idle.
Twig grabbing the reclaim around the map. It's not a lot of metal, but considering that he is metal starved, it's definitely going to help him more than it would help Pigz if he was doing the same. Tick managed to scout in and scout out, checking the player view. Didn't get much scouting information. Bruticus, who do you think is favored to win at the moment?
Units on the board, Pigz at the moment, unless he sits back.
Yep.
Pushing up and getting those mexes as early as possible is definitely going to be at an advantage. So, and neither of them are doing that. They're getting their back mexes held. Pigz is kind of doubled up with his eco building, though. He's got one building some blueprints of wind and converters, while one's building mexes. So that's great. While Twig only has one building. Oh no, he's got his second one out doing his blueprints now.
Yep.
There.
So super even game. Both players going with the same number of blueprints as well. So we're going to have a very, very balanced eco game between the two. Though Twig is now starting to take the initiative, sending his comm up, as compared to Pigz, who is still using it to push units out.
Yeah, where Pigz has dropped off, he hasn't put that construction turret up yet.
Yep.
Where Twig has, so Twig can definitely utilize his comm now to build those mexes and pretty much degun that very tight choke.
Yep. And that one tick paying off in efforts in spades, keeping an eye out on those pawns and letting Twig know that he's had the time to get up here and to expand. He knows that he's the first one sending the comm up. However, the downside is if Pigz does attempt to use those pawns, he will have the army advantage.
And Pigz is switching it up now. He's got a mace out and a centurion, and now going into a 1/1/1 mace centurion pawn. And he's also added a constructor in there. Hopefully he's used the alt key and not added it on repeat.
Yep.
Twig started his Rocketeers, though, so the first one will be out in a moment. There he goes. It looks like Twig is doing a 1/1 Rocketeer pawn.
Yep. The Rocketeer is definitely Twig's bread and butter, but combining them with the pawns is risky, because if you send the pawns into effective range, they can block the missiles or walk into them, so definitely could be a problem there.
Absolutely.
But Twig...
weakening those pawns could make it a lot easier for that Centurion to rip them to pieces.
Yeah, I do like. I actually on a closed map like this, I really do like the Centurions. Those are going to absolutely deal damage.
Absolutely, as long as he doesn't get dragged into a kiting fight where Twig can kite with the Rocketeers.
Yep.
Excuse me, voice is going.
So we've got Twig coming on through, gonna get that first high ground LLT, controlling the Geo. Though if Pigz is able to hold his Mexus, then income will be relatively even because you can match the income of the Mexus just with some additional wind potentially. First clash looks like it might be coming up as Pigz makes his way to the top of the hill, and it's definitely going to be Pigz favored with those maces and the Centurion.
Mm-hmm. Twig's got his tick there, keeping an eye on those, so he knows it's coming.
Yep.
So at least he'll be able to react accordingly. So even dropped a nettle down there, so bit of worry that there might be some air shenanigans at some point.
Mm-hmm. Checking back at Twig's base, no nettles down this end, so he's hoping to scout them beforehand, which if I was playing as Twigz, I would send them quite wide to try and avoid any sort of scouting. But 4 build turrets for Twig at the moment compared to the 2 of Pigz. So once the resources start rolling, it'll definitely be Twig favored. But he doesn't currently have the energy to power his LLTs, so while they're a great thing to have up here, they aren't currently providing him the benefit that he needs. Constructor heading on up to build that Geo, so hopefully that will come up in time to actually help with the fight. First engagement looks like it's just around the corner, with Pigz sending his units up in a defensive position in front of his mechs. Coming in to engage Twig, but the LLTs and the rocket bots deterring him.
That's good though. Those maces got in range and the Centurion, so they're starting to one rocket bot down already.
Twig definitely surrounding the units is his best bet, but with that Centurion in the back, that's a huge loss for Twig. Most of his army going down, and even though Pigz lost most of his as well, that Centurion will still hold nice and strong. And this is where the kiting comes into it. Pigz not paying attention, going to lose that Centurion to the rocket bots. That was the thing that was going to keep him held on this high ground. Without that army, without that unit up there, he is going to struggle, and Twig will take the high ground position. Pigz smartly building some LLTs to make sure that Twig can't push down that ramp. More Centurions on the way. Best unit for holding this.
A little over 1,000 reclaim there. Twig's been reclaiming it, but yeah, it would have been a little bit over 1,000 reclaim in metal there. So Twig's definitely going to be able to recuperate his losses much faster than Pigz will.
Yep.
And the problem with those LLTs is they're on the lower ground, so the rocket bots are going to have a much easier time popping them.
Yep. Yeah, the ability to pop in and out of their range will do very, very good. But yes, something which Twig has said to me in a past 1v1, the reclaim from the first battle is critical in a match like this. The more of it you get off of that first engagement, the higher your chances are to win the second, because of the amount you can just pump into those units over your opponent.
He's already got 15 rocket bots out on the field now. They are staggered across the lane, but it's a substantial amount. Pig's a bit risky there, getting his comm right on the front.
Yep. But thankfully, because of the terrain, those rocket bots can't make use of their range right at the edge of the cliff. He's trying to use a ground fire command to get them to shoot and get them to lob their missiles over, but unfortunately, the rocket bots having a straight trajectory mean that they will struggle to fire down that hill. So Pig's using the terrain to his advantage very, very well. Twig getting that Geo up in just a few seconds, that should alleviate all of his power difference and solidify his front line, pulling back smartly to take away Pig's terrain advantage, and now picking away with those rocket bots.
What I would have liked to have seen Pigz do is pop down a beholder as well, up on the side of the cliff. If he can get away with that, then at least he can see what's coming, because if he gets pushed any further down that hill, he'll be line of sight blocked of what's coming.
Yep. In this quick pause, let's just jump back and have a look at the ecos. Twig, very little has changed for him other than him building a couple of extra energy converters. Pigz, falling well behind as he built his wind outside of his build turrets, which means that it's only the one constructor's build turret getting those up, getting some advanced solars in to try and counteract that. So that is more metal advantage going towards Twig, as he will be able to put that metal into units as compared to the advanced solars.
If you have a look up the top, though, Twig has switched into a vehicle lab up on the top and is going with some Janus.
Yep.
2 Janus and 10 shell shockers. That's going to be brutal in a very tight confine like this. The Janus are absolutely going to wreck a push.
Yep.
And then the shell shockers can just chip away with the Rocketeers.
Yep. Very smart thing to do. If you build the vehicle lab on the low ground, they can't actually drive up this cliff. However, they can drive down it. So if you control this high ground, you're able to build the units that are most appropriate for a choke fight. And that Geo, absolutely fantastic as well when it comes to the high ground. Pigz looking for a probing attack, but seeing that many rockets coming at him, he wisely backs out, though this advantage is only going to keep getting worse and worse against him.
Still hasn't seen the vehicles yet, but he might have seen the artillery land. Here we go. Janus are pushing in for a blast.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they dumped their load on one Rocketeer.
Yes, sometimes manual fire is the name of the game for Janus. Twig now fighting in the defensive, but he certainly has the firepower to hold that. Pigz acknowledging that with the Janus out, with the vehicles out, he is now going to get chipped away, and he's going to lose control of the high ground very quickly. In a situation like this, I'd really like to see something like a air transition, because his hopes of winning with the vehicles and the army and the bot supremacy that Twig has up the top, he's definitely in a worse position with very little room to maneuver. Going in for another probing attack, but Twig just has too much, so even though these Centurions are going to be great at picking out these Rocketeers once they're in range, there are just too many of them.
As you can see, most of those Centurions are heavily damaged, dead.
Yep.
Only one's fresh now.
Oof. And keeping them right on that edge of the vision, he's going to lose them as well. Yep, couple of extra units lost. Pigz trying to build a vehicle lab up there, but currently at a 16 metal income and 0 in the bank. He doesn't have the ability to build that anytime soon. We're looking at 40 seconds to get that up.
His horns up as well, so it looks like he's going for that push now.
Yep. Horn's about to be hit by friendly fire, but not too bad. Pushes in, tries to get the comm, gets the surround on the comm, deguns his own lab. Not going to be quite enough, but that is a very...
now.
Yep. 2% on that comm, and Twig is moving in. He's willing to sacrifice everything he's got just to get that extra 2%.
All he really needs to do now is just meet shield for those Janus while they reload and that comm's dead.
Yep.
He just needs to get on hold fire.
Any rocket, great dancing from Pigz, but that's going to be it. Strong play out of Twig, and unfortunately the high ground control on this map is everything. After that first engagement, Pigz really needed to change up his strategy in order to bust his way through. But a good showing and a good eco out of both players. We loved seeing the use of those blueprints, but the deciding factor in this game, I think, comes down to where they were placed. Pigz unfortunately placed his outside of the build power, which means that Twig pulled ahead in the eco and managed to use that to roll on through.
Sorry, Pigz, about that one.
That's all right.
So, how do you think that went? That first engagement on the top of the hill, we thought that you did very well there, but unfortunately just not quite able to punch through those LLTs.
No. No, it's a strange one. It's a strange one. I remember this map from, seeing it and before. You've got to try and get to that centre where that Geo is, and he had a bit too much. I thought, oh, he's got a bit too much. But yeah, you're right with the build power on that. Still waking up. Getting there, though.
Yep.
I did put a tick above your little base that you had on the hill face. So the whole time I could see how many units you had coming up and just making sure that I had the right amount of units to counter what was coming up the hill.
I didn't see any tick at all.
Yep.
It's hidden.
Very, very good play with the ticks, and we called that out during the game. So scouting
one
advantage
tick, but-
there. Well, I think we'll call it there, and we'll jump into another game. Thanks everyone for joining us. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Maybe a comment if there's something you want to let us know. And then if you want to be part of this 1v1 series, jump on our Discord. We're always happy to meet people, play games with you guys on our stream nights, or do part of this 1v1 series with you. Thanks for joining us, and catch you next time.
Bye for now.